Real estate is one of the biggest industries in the world. It's worth $393 trillion and drives 12% of the global economy. And yet, only 0.01% of startups are building technologies for it. So why is PropTech so behind? If you're interested in AI and real estate, you might hear the word PropTech a lot. And for a while, I used the word too without knowing what it actually means or what it actually includes. So what is PropTech? Obviously, PropTech means property technology. And I feel like in today's world, people often use it to imply AI and real estate. But the dictionary style definition is actually much broader. It means any application of technology that improves any part of the real estate lifecycle. In my opinion, there are roughly 6 big PropTech buckets. First would be investment and finance analysis. Second would be development and construction, including AEC tech. Third would be asset and property management. Fourth would be leasing and sales. Fifth would be sustainability/ESG/other smart building technologies. And lastly would be any data infrastructure or AI infrastructure for real estate. And because it's so broad, the word PropTech gets used kind of loosely, mostly because it helps startups with fundings. So one example would be WeWork. WeWork was raising capital as a PropTech startup in its early times. Even though it's not providing a new technology, it is reinventing a new way of using offices and using spaces. So that made sense, and WeWork was successful in selling that PropTech storyline. And perhaps another more relatable example would be Airbnb. Airbnb was also raising capital as a PropTech startup, and that made a lot of sense because it's reinventing a new way of using space, of using rooms, and their online booking portal is a key innovation. It really transformed people's way of thinking about hospitality. So Airbnb was also successful in selling the PropTech storyline to investors. From those examples, you can see that PropTech doesn't have to involve AI. In fact, some of the biggest PropTech companies in the world are not heavily or not solely AI-driven. However, this could shift in the next 5 to 10 years. Some numbers to note. In 2025, there were roughly 50 million new startups that launched, and roughly 5,000 of them were PropTech startups. That's 0.01% of all the startups that launched last year. And keep in mind, real estate is a $393 trillion industry that drives 12% of the global economy. So do you see the gap there? Innovation in real estate is tiny compared to the size of the industry. And I guess that's why people often call real estate an old-fashioned industry. And honestly, I don't think that's a false accusation. So why is PropTech so behind? In my opinion, there are 4 main reasons. First is that transactions don't demand new technologies yet. Traditional underwriting methods are still very sufficient today, and passing through files like Excel is still very relatively easy. Second would be that products are still immature. Real estate analysis consists of a lot of nuances, a lot of externalities, such as the changing politics, timing, and the fluid market. Those are very difficult to be captured, and a lot of the products on the market now are just too immature for that. And third would be industry resistance. Real estate is known as an old-fashioned industry, and a lot of people have been doing things the same way for a long time and have been doing very well at it, so there's very little incentives to change. And lastly, I think data and privacy plays a big part because a lot of the most important data in real estate are private and gated, and that makes it very difficult to train products, train data from them. However, I do think this will change in the next 5 to 10 years. Again, this is all my personal opinion. But I think things will start to shift for the following reasons. First is lower barrier of entry. Nowadays, coding and AI tools are just much more accessible to people with PropTech ideas. And second would be products taking time to mature. As I mentioned earlier, some of the current products on the market just need a bit more time to reach maturity to be ready to be used by the industry. And third is that productivity gain is becoming more attractive to both corporations and young professionals. It's attractive to corporations because they think it can cut labor and therefore cut costs for them, for better or worse. And it's attractive to young professionals because we grew up using AI technology and we're much more accepting of using AI technology to improve our own productivity gains at work. And lastly, I think sustainability is only going to become a more pressing issue in the future. Things like energy efficiency, carbon emission is only going to become an increasing need for PropTech innovation. And for the above reasons, I think even though PropTech is still relatively behind and seen as a niche among the startups, I think this will start to shift in the next 5 to 10 years because real estate as an industry might be forced to modernize for the first time. Thank you for watching. I forgot to mention that my name is Ethne and I post videos about real estate. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below and like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Thank you and see you next time.